Well. Let's skip the theatrics. I'm back again.
You can't keep getting away with it!
I don't. Be honest, mate. Am I back? Or am I just posting a video? Anyways, hope you missed me. I've had a few requests to get back to making videos. It's been deemed as helpful, so figure I was about to sit down and do some back testing, do some analysis, and figure why not record it. Today is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Just a quick summary. Everybody goes through hard times. Everybody goes through stuff. I think that I've had a lot of different things going on. And I think that this happens in everyone's lives. You can relate it to a superhero. When a superhero in the movie, there's always that moment where nothing goes their way. Just things unimaginable begin to fail and turn against you, and that is very demotivating. And at the same time, it is motivating. But there are certainly moments that you crack and or have a big toll on your mental. I'm a fairly optimistic person, but I have been in a weird place for the last few months. I've had stuff going on, but specifically the last few weeks have been tough for me because just everything's kind of began to crumble. And that's such an overstatement. And today's Thanksgiving. I have so much to be grateful for, so much to be thankful for. And so many things that do go my way, they get overlooked and taken for granted. So I don't want to sit here and sound like a little piss pot with, a perfectly comfortable and happy life when there are millions of people out there who don't have what I have. I'm just a kid going through hard times, and that's my explanation as to why I haven't been so active and producing content like I feel like I should have been. I've been letting these times get to my head and knock me off my pivot in a way that is inexcusable. I'm not going to go more in depth on the specific things that are going on. There's a lot of different things, a lot of stuff that most people that know me don't even know, that aren't worth talking about. Everybody goes through hard times. I'm sure you can relate. So with that absolutely thrilling intro, let's go ahead and get into the charts because I'm sure most of you are sick of my yap. First of all, check this shit out though. That's fucking dope, right? Get a load of that guy. If you don't like him, you're fucking lying to yourself. Right. So like I said, I'm going to be reviewing the last few days and just how this weekly profile has played out from my perspective and how I interpreted it and what I was expecting. So I'm on the weekly chart. I would be on the monthly chart, but as you can see, this is what price is at now, and that's not what I want. I want to be looking here because this was previous week close. So as you can see, this is previous week low. Let me document that. Previous week low here, PWL. This got swept on NQ and leave, and yes, not YM. Very important. So we created a monthly SMT here. So we created a monthly SMT without really any price action above this current month open, which tells me that this is a manipulation month in the higher time frame, higher than the, what's it called? This is a month of manipulation within the 3-month, the quarterly power of 3. So that this month served as manipulation so far, the first 3 weeks, as you can see. But today we're just going to be reviewing how the week has played out so far. So like I said, this week right here, last week took out and rejected previous week low. So we go into the daily now. See this close. Okay. We've rejected this low, close above. We've had a rejection candle. As you can see, we close bullish after sweeping the low. This gives me a completely bullish outlook, right? manipulation for the month is completed. We've, you can look at it accumulation, manipulation, distribution. I like to tell people to look at it as open manipulation, distribution. So open or accumulation, think of them as the same thing. Obviously that doesn't apply in every situation, but in this case, open manipulation, so we can expect distribution up to the upside, right? So as you can see here, we've finished our manipulation for the month. So going into the daily chart, we've had that rejection. Going into the 4-hour chart, we know, okay, this is what we're looking at. This is how previous week closed. Let's go into Monday. So Monday, we like to look at overnight session as our accumulation slash accumulation. We like to look at overnight session as our accumulation here. So let's drop down to an even lower time frame, the 15-minute. Very clear. Okay, cool. Ghost of Christmas Past is going to fuck me up. So I like to just look at it. Look, as very obvious accumulation. Let's just mark this up here. Boom, boom. And let's get the same here. Now, what I just remember to point out is this right here. This is a SMT, and it's more important to look at it from this perspective. 2 a.m., this 4-hour candle failed to sweep 18, this 4-hour candle, where it didn't fail on NQ. That's important. That is a 4-hour SMT. Very prominent, right? More important than a lower time frame SMT because the higher time frame governs the moves, obviously. Higher time frame is far more important than lower time frames. If you don't understand that, then you need to do some research. I'm not going to sit here and explain complete fundamentals. These videos aren't for beginners necessarily. I will maybe one day create a beginner's course, but I'm not a fucking guru, right? I don't live in Miami just yet, but not that I want to. Anyways, so this here, SMT, every move begins and finishes with an SMT. In this case, we had an SMT to begin this move, which we see as manipulation. Now, 2 a.m. manipulates, and then we wait. Oh, gotta go get my chicken strips from the oven. Be right back. Ow. All right, chicken strips are not done. I need to reset that timer to about 5 more minutes. Anyways, so in this case, accumulation, manipulation has begun. So what are we turning to? Remember, we had a 4-hour SMT. So what we wait for is another 4-hour SMT. Pretty simple. We have this one here, 4-hour candle low. Let's go to ES. Okay, 4-hour candle low. Da da da. Boom, boom. Well, what do we know? What do you know? Another 4-hour SMT. So that means this here is an SMT. So what does that tell us? Well, we had one 4-hour SMT to begin the manipulation. We had, pardon me, another 4-hour SMT to finish the manipulation. Fairly simple. That's lovely, right? So now, with that manipulation being deemed as completed, we can, this is 5:30 in the morning. My time, this is 2:30 in the morning, PST. Ain't nobody gonna be taking no trades at this time, right? Technically, we do have this other SMT, which would further confirm. So if I was awake at 3 in the morning, perhaps I would have taken along. Perhaps I could have, but it's more important just to know, okay, the manipulation for the day was finished. Let's wait for 9:30, which when most people are trading. Okay, 9:30. What do we see here? We see the accumulation, we see the manipulation, and we see the beginning of the distribution. Now, obviously, distribution is fairly larger than the manipulation. So we're going to expect a retracement or some form of SMT, because every move begins and finishes with an SMT, to propel us higher, because we expect price to go much higher. Because remember, if we go back to the weekly, Oh, this is going to show the whole stupid trading view, man. See, it's so annoying. But our objective is higher because we confirmed that the that the monthly power of 3, the manipulation was completed. I've already been over that. Rewind the video if you need to explain that further. So what we can do here is next 5-minute candle is 9:30. So we can simply wait. Okay, I'm looking for an internal SMT. Internal just means it's within current price action. I'm looking for an SMT to complete the manipulation of 9:30. So have at it. Wow. Difficult to catch, right? Yeah, I agree. But here it is. Boom. We had this. Now, I could have looked prior to 9:30. We had this SMT. We had it here. So, in hindsight, could have been like, oh, well, we already had the SMT, so I probably would have entered right around here and, myself was here. Yes, if you were that confident, and a lot of the times, and when you get familiar, you can be that confident. But as you can see, I didn't even notice, and I'm back testing, right? So you tend to be paying more attention when you're live trading anyways, but for the sake of the argument, there you go. There's the SMT, further confirmed after 9:30. As you can see, we had the internal. Boom. We've had the SMT to complete it. How many fucking times am I going to say that word? And then they just continues higher. And what's important to acknowledge here, see, I've just marked 10 a.m. open. We expect open, low, high close because we are bullish. You wouldn't expect it to go down if you were bearish, obviously. Wait, you wouldn't expect it to go down if you were bullish, obviously. So that's as simple as I can put it, this daily profile, right? Most people aren't going to be up to catch this. How would you be? You could set a limit if you have a perfect level. I don't know. Most people are probably going to be on at 9:30. If you can get in before the actual move, fantastic. If you can't, there's always going to be opportunity to re-enter. As you can see here, 9:45 swept here, 9:45. So we have an SMT between here. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, whatever, right? Overall, we're bullish. So we anticipate bullish SMTs to hold, bearish SMTs to break. So that's Monday in simple terms. And then we can move on to Tuesday after I grab my chicken strips. Right. So I've got a handful of chippies in there with the chicken strips, and they're taking longer because they take longer to cook. So still not ready yet. Fucking letdown after letdown. Am I right, guys? Anyways, let's get back to it. That's Monday finished. So now I'm not going to remove all of them. But boom, that's the day completed. That's how you could have been bullish on the day from every step of the way, even to prior to the day opening, right? And in this case, we've had a very strong Monday. As you can see, just a refresher, we've had the previous week low SMT. We are expecting the remainder of this monthly candle to be bullish because we've reached the manipulation low. We've confirmed the low. And if it's not going to go any lower, it's going to go higher. So let's go to the 4-hour. Boom, boom, boom. Let's jump one. Hello. Okay, that's 18, 22, 2. Boom. This is this. So we have these highs. We don't have, see with 18, this is the accumulation high. We don't have the SMT yet. It's still just chop, 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 right? It's still nothing. So we're going to wait till 6 a.m., which happens here. Okay. And as you can see, let's go to the 4-hour. It's going to spoil it a little bit. Actually, that doesn't do a good job, does it? Okay, that's better. This is the 6 a.m. candle, which sweeps 18. So sweeps 18 on ES and YM. Fails on NQ. That's a 4-hour SMT. You've seen it. You can visualize it in your brain, because if I go here, trading view is going to be like, oh wait, never mind, I'm bugging. Well, as you can see, we have this SMT. That SMT began the manipulation because that was prior. If we're bullish, we expect one bearish SMT to begin the manipulation, and then one bullish SMT to complete the manipulation. So, look at this. 10 a.m. low, failed to sweep, failed to sweep. Bada boom, bada bang. That's our 4-hour SMT. That's our 4-hour manipulation. That's our daily manipulation completed. Right, so just to review, go to 15. Once again, accumulation. Boom. In this case, it included 2 a.m. because we didn't have a valid manipulation. We didn't have a valid SMT to create and start the manipulation. Here we go. Boom. SMT to begin the manipulation. And then we had this SMT to complete the manipulation. With manipulation completed, we expect distribution. Wait for internal SMT, a level, whatever your trading style is, confirmation entry, ride it higher. Boom. That's Tuesday. Complete. Same as Monday. Same blueprint, same structure, model, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. Okay, I'm back. I took a break to eat my chips and chicken strips and watch PewDiePie. So, we're on to Wednesday. Tuesday completed, as you can see. Laid through it, saw the manipulation, the 2 4-hour SMTs. They're not still on my chart, but this SMT was the completion of the manipulation. This one here was the beginning of the manipulation going into Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, I do remember, wasn't as clean. And I want to preface this. I want to preface this. I don't know. It's not always going to be that clean. It's just not. It doesn't work like that. There's no exact certainty in the market, because if there was, it would be easy, right? In this case, as you can see, this has 6-hour included. 18 doesn't get swept by any of them. Now, YM comes very close, and I'll come back to that in a sec. But technically, there is no 4-hour SMT. Now, if we go to the hourly, we do have an hourly SMT with this here low, with this hourly low. And we know we're bullish because I've explained this 60 times. The monthly power of 3 manipulation has been completed. Therefore, we are expecting the distribution, which is bullish. So we have this here, manipulation, completion. Now we need to go in and see, okay, the highest is 2. Highest here is 2. Highest here is 2. So again, it's not as clean. I'm sure at some point on the way down, let's see, 6 beat 5 beat 4. So there was an SMT here. You know what I mean? It's really not, we don't like that. We just don't. We're not fans of that, be honest with you, mate. It's not clean. It's unfortunate, but sometimes it's just like that, right? So technically, I mean, if you really want to be you really want to be like, oh, we had this SMT here. I guess, but unfortunately, it's not that clean. And that just happens sometimes. That's just how it's going to be sometimes. But, that's a bit weird. But we have this SMT to begin the manipulation, and then we have with the hourly low to complete the manipulation. Again, no 4-hour SMT, unfortunate, but it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you lot. It's just how it's going to work sometimes. You got to take what you can get. And if this is a situation where, like, well, my rules didn't occur, I am wait for 2 4-hour SMTs, beginning and completion of the manipulation, I will not take this trade, good for you. You know what I mean? That is your prerogative. Then the next day, I'm not even going to fucking go over this because I can't be bothered, because look at this. What is that? Are we dead ass? The fuck is this? Looks like a centipede, right? So, no, I will not, unfortunately. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you, right? So, And then right now the CME put out a thing saying that their servers are down. That's why price closed at 9:42 p.m. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, so to finish the video, an outlook. The monthly candle has been completed, or it will be completed. Now, we know that the monthly power of 3 manipulation completed, but we didn't complete the distribution. So I'm going to leave you guys with the thought process of, well, if we anticipate the distribution and that is not completed in 1 month, it will most likely be carried on into the next month because price is very clean, but it doesn't always keep so power of 3 isn't always contained in one candle. It's just not. So in this case, in this monthly candle, this was the power of 3 of the monthly candle, but the 3-month candle, the quarterly candle, it had its open, beginning of manipulation. I mean, this is an easier visualization here. So 3-month, power of 3, open, beginning of manipulation, end of manipulation. I can write this. So, oops. So, A, M, completion of M. Shut up, I know how to spell. I'm just lazy. And this, I will be anticipating D. What the fuck is the word? Distribution. I will be anticipating for the 3-month close a bullish December to create a new monthly high. That's just what I'm looking at, and I have explained my thought process. I believe that although this month didn't complete its bullish distribution, I believe that this was simply manipulation for the 3-month, the quarterly candle. Let me switch back to this. Bang, transition. So that's going to wrap up the video. Probably a bit boring unless you love this stuff as much as I do. I could sit and do this all day. And you kind of got to love it that much to get good, right? But yeah, so I'm sorry for being gone for so long. I've got my own stuff to work through, and that's just a part of life. It's not an excuse. It's just information that I believe is necessary for me to tell you. And like I said, there's, some of the stuff I do talk about with people. Some of the stuff is, things that I haven't really even told anybody because it's nobody's business. You go through stuff, and God, the universe, whatever it is, gives you challenges, and that's just how it goes. You have to make him, God, or the universe, or yourself proud. And when you do that, when you are able to make that being, that entity proud, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, you, in my belief, will be rewarded. And you shouldn't do things just for a reward, of course, but you want to make your ancestors proud. You want to make those who care for you and raised you proud, and all these things. And you can make them proud by being strong, keeping your head down, pushing through it, and being strong. So that's that. I will try to get a video out sometime soon. I'm not going to promise daily because that's digging myself a fucking grave. Today is Thanksgiving after all. What a weird time for me to finally decide to put some work in. Not that I haven't been putting work in. I'm not gonna say that. I haven't put in hours into trading, just not videos, because I haven't been in the best of mind spaces. So maybe I'll make a psychology video, something like that. Have a great Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for all of you watching this video, and I'm very grateful if you watched all the way to the end. Most people probably don't, but those of you who do, I love you. And have a great rest of your day. Hit the like button and subscribe. Had to work that in there somehow. Bye-bye.